TimeLock VR is a puzzle room game with some interesting twists, but also some disappointments. The main draw for this game is that you can travel back and forth in time to see the same house in different states. So you can go back in time to get a key or code that will work in the future house, and vice versa. Sometimes while traveling through time, you'll hit a time lock. When that happens, you're in a dream limbo state in which you leave the house, fire arrows at enemies, and solve puzzles to continue on. The premise is great, but there are a few disappointments. I beat the game in about 20 minutes. At the end, it tells me more episodes are on the way. That's fine, but for the current price of $9, it feels way too short compared to other puzzle room games. Especially since the first episode is mostly a tutorial, so I was left wanting much more at the end. Also, the floor has a persistent blue grid overlaid on top of it, which made everything feel kind of cheap. What's really strange is the blue grid is persistent through all walls no matter where you are. So I kept confusing that persistent blue grid for my chaperone bounds. Mentally, I kept disconnecting from the game thinking that I'm close to a wall. I don't see a need for the grid on the floor, and I found it distracting and it broke immersion for me. When you're fighting the enemies are completely silent. Which is weird since the rest of the game has plenty of sound effects. The lack of sounds during combat take away any excitement they could have. And finally, the game tells you that in addition to jumping back and forth through time, you can pause and rewind time. Like if you throw an object, you can rewind it back to its original position. But after beating the game, I realized that I never needed to do that once. Even though you have permanent buttons for that ability, it's never needed. I was initially really excited for this game. The premise is really cool. I hope in the future it'll be more polished and have more content. But as it is right now, I can't recommend it. Well, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you see, please subscribe. See ya!